To see so much in our first meeting of the year. So welcome. And I am Roxanne Stevens, your newly elected mayor. Um, so this is a special meeting of the Hollister City Council. Today's January 7th, and the meeting is now being called at 6 p.m. So City Clerk, please do the roll call.
Councilmember Pache,
Present.
Councilmember Resendez,
Present.
Councilmember Morales.
Yeah.
Councilmember DeAnda, and Mayor Stevens.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask Councilmember Morales to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Republic stands,
Indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please clarify here any public comments on closed session items.
There are no public comments on any of the closed session items.
Okay, thank you. So, City Attorney, can you call the items that are scheduled for closed session?
Yes, Mayor. Item 4.1, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision B of Section 54956.9 of the Government Code for cases. 4.2, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency designated representative, city manager David Marioni, and administrative services director Casey Astorga. For the organization, Serve Central East International Union, SEIU Local 521, Hollister Firefighters Union, HFFU Local 3395, Hollister Peace Officer Association, HPOA, and representative employees and classifications designated as executive management. 4.3, conference with real property negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. Property 365 4th Street, Hollister, California 95023. Agency negotiator David Marioni, city manager. Negotiating party San Benito County Polytechnic Academy under negotiation lease terms. 4.4, conference with legal counsel existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. Name of case Siwak v. City of Hollister et al. San Benito County Superior Court case number CU 2400332. It's also my understanding that at this time we will go into closed session to discuss item 4.1, one of the cases, and then come back out and finish closed session at the end of the regular session.
Okay, right. That's my understanding too. So we're going to go ahead and take a little break for you all, then we'll be right back. Hopefully, keep it as short as possible. Thank you for your patience. Okay, well, thank you for your patience as we, were in closed session for a bit. Appreciate.
Mayor Stevens,
you sticking
can
around.
I ask you to hold on?
Sure.
We've got a couple things to do on this side.
Okay.
Okay, we're good to go. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Jen. Thank you all for your patience, and I'm gonna actually, turn it over to our city attorney for a quick report out.
So with respect to the first item on the closed session agenda 4.1, the one case, there's nothing to report out as of now.
Okay, thank you. And just as an FYI, we have the other, closed, session items to address after we go over, the rest of our agenda. So just so you know that we just need to cover one. Okay. Okay, so thank you for that. So does any members of the council, oh wait, hold on a second. Does any members of the council have any questions or comments on the consent item? We're moving to consent items now. No? Okay, I'm not seeing any. City clerk, are there any public comments on the consent items?
There are no public comments for any of these items.
Any members of the council wish to pull an item from the consent items list? No? Okay.
City clerk, is this the time where the mayor would pull and make her appointments?
That's gonna be in the report out after the ad hoc committee is created, so that's
Okay.
later on in the agenda.
Okay, thank you. You can go forward, Mayor.
Okay.
Nobody's holding.
Okay, thank you for that. And again, thank you for your patience as we are kind of getting our bearings, new city council members and especially new mayor trying to run a meeting. So thank you for your patience. May I have a motion to adopt the consent items?
Mayor Stevens, I'll move to adopt the consent agenda item as presented by staff.
Thank you, council members, and all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, so thanks, the consent items have been approved. Okay, so we're gonna move on with the agenda. We're gonna move to 7.1, council meetings. So an ordinance of the city of Hollister amending, the meeting time and meetings, time and place of the, chapter 2.04 City Council, Title II Administration and, Personnel of the City Municipal, Code. Here we have the staff report. This is essentially looking at the time and date of our city council meetings in particular. So, this is what we're gonna be looking at next. Can we have staff report, please?
Yes, Mayor and Council. So the city council requested a future agenda item to move the start time for city council meetings to the first and third Mondays of each month at 6:30 p.m. So should the county introduce the ordinance tonight, it would come back for a second reading and adoption is what we call it, adoption. At the next council meeting following the required noticing. If this is approved, the ordinance would read, meetings, time and place held in conformity with state law. The city council shall hold regular meetings on the first and third Mondays of each month at the hour of 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers in the city hall. If that Monday falls on a city observed holiday, the meeting will fall to the Tuesday after the holiday. Regular, adjourned, special, and closed meetings shall be held in conformity with the provisions of government code section 54950 et seq. And shall terminate at 10 p.m. unless the meeting is extended by the city council. Just previous council action related to this on March 4, 2024, the city council approved an amendment to the Hollister Municipal Code, updating the date and time of the city council meetings to the first and third Mondays at 6:30 to the first and third Tuesdays of each month, and that should say 4 p.m., not 9 a.m. in the staff report. And so what you're doing is basically going back to what existed previously to that amendment. And I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
So moving the meetings to a Wednesday would give us a little bit more time to go over the agenda items and have a more. Just more time to go over things. Is that at all possible? That's what's.
The staff would have to answer that question.
Yeah, and I think David would have some input on that, because I believe the question is related to when you receive the agenda versus when the meeting occurs. So the Brown Act requires just the 72-hour notice. If what council is wanting our agenda sooner, we would need to work with council on cutoff dates and times for submitting things like council requests for agenda items. And so sometimes our items aren't received until maybe Friday morning. We've been trying to get the agenda out, so we can work with council if that's the concern. But of course, this is council's decision. If they want to revise the ordinance to have it be Wednesdays, it can be Wednesdays. Absolutely. But if the concern is you want the agenda sooner, we can work with the city manager and his team. And did you want to add anything to that? Okay. Yes, go ahead, Council Member Morales.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, if there's a potential consideration for either the second or fourth Monday or Tuesday at 6:30. For the city council.
Yes, I think in general, I'm gonna paraphrase like the two comments is that we are looking at what are the options for the actual date and the type of day. I think we understand that that part of the ask is to move that meeting to a little bit later time, but what about the date and which days are okay, which is it possible to move it to the second and fourth instead of first and third, etc.
One challenge I would say that is there are other committees and other meetings that you may be on that are scheduled at that time. Like for instance, right now the city of San Juan is having their city council meeting, so at times we've had the fire chief have to come from this meeting and then run over to that one. Jennifer, maybe we have the calendar of the committee meetings. I know intergovernmental meets first Wednesday at 4. We've got planning commission, which is the fourth Thursday.
Yes, and then there's also our Parks and Rec and our Arts Commissions, they meet on Tuesdays, and then we have our Airport Commission meets on Wednesdays and on the fourth Wednesday of the month.
Okay, any other specific comments or questions?
I can make a quick comment if I'm allowed.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens. Yeah, so essentially this was done by the last council, I think to limit public participation, in my opinion. They moved it on a day that was not ideal for the staff or for the public, and at a time that was not ideal for the staff or the public. It's always been Monday at 6:30. I think that for the staff that's been here for a number of years, for elected officials that have been here for a number of years, and for all the committees, I think that's the most that's going to be the most beneficial day and time for us to go back to, because we've kind of built our schedules, personal and professional schedules around that. So that would be my proposal, is to put it right back to Mondays at 6:30, which is where it was before.
So a question about that, to staff or to those who were here at that time. How often did that interfere with a national holiday? Because oftentimes Mondays are a holiday, so how often was that a concern? Or was there a problem?
Mayor Stevens, I did check on that. It occurs 4 times a year for Martin Luther King, President's Day. It also occurs for Memorial Day and Labor Day. And there also are the rotating holidays, so 4th of July, Juneteenth, Veterans Day, those are going to be affected no matter what day it will be on, but it is those 4 other holidays that occur on Mondays.
Okay, so for those, then what was the previous practice to cover those?
No problem. And it is in the municipal code that allows that if a meeting occurs on a holiday, then it's going to move to the following day. So it'll move to Tuesday.
And because it's designated that way in the municipal code, when it moves to a Tuesday, it's still considered a regular meeting. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Council Member Morales?
So it sounds like based on the other committees, that there is an opportunity for either Tuesday or Wednesday, since committee conference will only be once, a month. So we have 3 other Wednesdays, so we could potentially have committees or Tuesday.
Yes, there is also intergovernmental committee occurs on Wednesday afternoons, so there could potentially be a conflict with that, and those meetings this year are in San Juan Bautista, so. If any of the members are on intergovernmental, it would take them time to get back here if it occurred on the same meeting day. And then, like I said, it's just the airport commission is the only other one.
And we AMDAG as well, the second Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the various ones for other agencies. I don't think of the city's agencies.
And I think my point was that we had them on Tuesdays, so Tuesdays we would run through, so if we started later, that there wouldn't be a conflict there because we're already doing it on Tuesday. So those days still open, it's just, we would just start.
Mayor Stevens,
That's nothing.
thank you. As Councilmember Dolores knows, I'm in a doctorate program and my class meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, we've got personal and professional conflicts built out around this schedule. Unless somebody here has a conflict with Monday at 6:30, then they should make that known now. If not, I would suggest that we move forward with Mondays at 6:30 from here on out.
Okay, so let me just check real quick. Any other questions or comments before we move to public comments? Go ahead. Councilman. There's some good Monday, okay. Okay. thank you for that. Okay, so any other?
Mayor Stevens, for the sake of transparency, as I disclose I'm in a doctorate program that meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays, would you please disclose what your conflict is?
So I'm just gonna interrupt you, this is okay. I just hoping this is okay. I'm just hoping that we will just make our own decision. So if you're okay with it, let's just like kind of leave it at that. And each one of us can make our decision just based on our own lives and what we think is right for the public. Ultimately, the point of this is to make this meeting more accessible and more available to the public. And so let's load our punches. And if, unless you have any other comments or questions, I want to move on to public. Okay, great, thank you. Public comment, any public comments, Silver?
Mayor Stevens, there are no public comments for this item.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna ask, anybody if they'd like to make a motion on this item.
Mayor Stevens, I'm prepared to make a motion to adopt the ordinance to have the meetings moved back to Monday original time at 6:30.
And is that motion for the first and third Mondays of the month, so as drafted?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. A second? I second that. Okay, so all in favor, aye.
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 I,
All opposed? Aye. Okay, so that's 4-1, I believe, so the motion passes.
Councilmember Rouse just said aye to that. Were you saying no?
I was saying, no.
Okay, aye, so. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the item number 7.2. So can I as I introduce our next item, consider and approve the 2025 Hollister Independence Motorcycle Rally. I know that we have a lot of people in our chambers that I believe are here for that particular item, and we're really excited that you're here with us. So here's the ask of our viewer for your cooperation. So first of all, I think we're gonna limit public comment to 2 minutes other than 3 minutes, just because I think we're gonna probably have a lot of interest in that. So if that's okay. And then the other is I'm gonna ask that we refrain from responding or any back talk while somebody is speaking, so that we can just have everybody's voices heard. Whether you're in agreement or not in agreement, it's okay. Let's just agree to disagree either way. But let's just listen to everybody so that we all get good understanding of where the public lies on this matter. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there, so thank you all again. So can we have the staff report, please?
Okay, thank you, Mayor Stevens. So tonight I have the privilege of presenting the Hollister Independence Rally. At our last meeting, we received an agenda request to bring this item back for discussing the approval of this event. And so we have a brief presentation I do have in the audience Randy Burke from Roadshow Inc. That has been our promoter in the past. We'll talk a little bit about that in the presentation, as well as our police chief, Carlos Reynoso, is here to answer any questions you may have as well. So just an overview, and I do have a disclaimer for the timeline. I'm showing the years we had it and didn't have it. And, you know, I'm 99% sure that's accurate, but I wanted to put a disclaimer because there's some of the historic information may be a little hard to find. So officially held, the first one in 1997 through 2005, did not occur in 06, and then was back in 07 and 08. Did not happen from 09 through 12, then was back from 13 to 17. And that was the last year that it was held. Initially, the promoter was local nonprofit forum, HRIC. The last few rallies have been promoted by Roadshows Inc. And their contract was, their most recent contract was for the rallies of 2020 to 2024. We all know that there was challenges with COVID right at that time. And so those rallies weren't held. The rallies weren't held under that contract for Randy and Roadshows. We do know that it would increase tourism and increase sales volume for various sectors. This is there's an update 2022 measure T. An advisory measure was passed by 63%, which basically asked if the community wanted to bring the rally back. And then measure U, failing that was on having the rally on a weekend, before or after an alternate weekend of the 4th of July. So for those two advisory votes, it was essentially have the rally and have it on 4th of July weekend. We did have in the past few years a fireworks show that served as an alternate event. I do have in the staff report that at the staff level, we would recommend that we do not hold that this year to focus on the rally and to focus those costs and staff resources towards that. We do have limited staffing and holding two events simultaneously on the 4th of July will pose challenges, and I want to be upfront with that. In 2024, in April, the council sent myself, council member Rick Perez, and police chief Carlos Reynoso to the Leesburg Bike Fest. I must say that was a great experience for me because I got to be behind the scenes. I was not here during the last rally, so for me to not only expand my network and work with the great city manager over there, they were very accommodating to let us kind of just be a fly on the wall and follow them around when they were dealing with a stressful event. So they've extended open line of communication and partnership and be a network and a resource for us going on. So shout out to them. They were fabulous and really just a gracious host to us. So as mentioned, the direction that we received was to bring back a presentation with a recommendation to approve and hold the rally for the 4th of July weekend. This year, 4th of July is actually on Friday. So it will be that Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Dan, if you could advance this slide. Okay, so immediate next steps if approved. So just to give kind of a high level overview, there'll be a ton of smaller steps within. Normally we would have a year to plan it. So in 6 months we're gonna get moving. We're gonna get moving fast if approved. It would be to complete our contract with Roadshows Inc. So one of the recommendations is for us to negotiate a contract because we're technically out of contracts with Roadshows. We did fortunately work on updating some of the language last year in preparation if we were to have a rally to bring that contract up to our more current template, address some of our concerns. We have had quite a few discussions with Mr. Burke, so he would finish that up and then bring that back to council for consideration. So that would be another vote of the council to approve that contract. We would have obviously ongoing planning meetings, working with our police department to attempt to secure additional sworn officers. As we mentioned in the past, we've had some challenges there, but we're looking also to supplement that through security services as well. With that, we would finalize an event security plan. Our partners at HDA have agreed to help us with staffing and volunteer support, business outreach, and visitor metrics. They do have the ability to help us through a contract that allows us to see cell phone information, not personal information, but it is able to tell us like there was visitors from these cities and this is how many people came, and it's really cool technology that's being used now. And so they did secure that a few months ago. And so they're willing to work with us on that, as well as through the contract that we have. So that we have an existing contract with HDA to provide support for a lot of our events, and they're willing to help us with that as well. Partner with Integrated Waste and Ecology for waste services. So as part of the contract that Integrated Waste, which is the Joint Powers Authority that kind of oversees the trash hauling in the community. When a trash hauler competes to have the privilege to serve the community and to be the provider that goes around and picks up the garbage and handles all the garbage here in town, there's different community events and whatnot that are worked into that contract. And so we'll be working with them because one of the events that they're contracted to provide support for is the motorcycle rally. So we would work with Integrated Waste and Ecology, and that would be for the extra garbage cans around and going around and emptying those out and fill it fast and providing dumpster services. And essentially, those are services that are baked into the contract that they have with Integrated Waste as a condition to provide services in our business space. We'll work with our staff and Randy and his team to look at the layout. Since the last time, there's now condos on the 400 block and we have parklets. So obviously that will change the look and feel. And so we'll work on that together. Finalize the project budget. Obviously, we're putting our information together. We have some early estimates that were part of the staff report, but we would also work that through with Randy and his team, and then come back as we have our contract. And so we'll have various contracts along the way that will probably require your approval. Some may not, but we will bring all that back and keep you updated along the way. So as I said, council action that was provided. The first two were recommended as part of the agenda request, which is the council to receive the presentation and hold regarding holding the rally in 2025, and then approving and authorizing staff to host the rally. And then the additional item added in there is to authorize me to negotiate the contract with road showings, which are then returned to the city council for approval. And with that, that's the end of the presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, City Manager. Any questions for staff on the report? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions.
I do have some questions, but I do understand that they'll be handled in time as the contract gets negotiated. I am very interested in just further clarification on a few things as the contract rolls out.
Okay, yes. Yeah, and just to further clarify that tonight we're going to make a decision about moving forward with some of the planning, and then later we'll have to come back for contract information. And so some of those questions will get answered at that time. So that's right. That's what, okay. So that's kind of what that little back and forth is. Okay, any other council members have a question or comment? Okay, so other comments?
Okay, and my plan is to call out the speaker and then the three names after it. So if you can start maybe lining up, because I think it's gonna take a while for the message to get out to the door out there. So and my apologies if I mispronounce your guys' name.
And just a quick reminder of what I said earlier, so we just try to keep things as chill as we can, so that we can keep things moving along and everybody gets a chance to speak.
So our first speaker is Mike Corbin, to be followed by Peter Lago, Sandy Patterson, and Irene Davis.
Oh, it's running already? Mayor, city council, city manager, your hard act to follow, that was very good. This is just like 30 years ago, we started work on a Hollister rally in 1995. We had two little test rallies on San Benito before 97, which was 50th. It's important to remember that This was all done with a high cooperative spirit. Everybody did work together. It was a hard idea to get across in the beginning because the town did never really have a Hollister rally. They had great times out at Block Park for many years. But the spirit's the main thing to remember. Another thing, perspective wise, the rally has been dragged through the marketing mud a lot. So the motorcycle industry in general doesn't have much confidence in the Hollister having a future. So I don't think that you can expect large crowds this year. So if you do your evaluations and your cost analysis, I would actually be surprised if you got 5,000 people. So that puts in perspective, the safety controls and stuff like that. But I want to thank the city council for bringing this idea back to life again. They put Hollister on the map, put Corbin on the map. We're proud to be here. Thank you very much.
The next speaker,
Okay, I'm just gonna remind everybody that we have, I appreciate Mr. Corbin said I think had some great words to say, but we can't applaud after every speaker else we want to ever get out of here, so I'm just gonna ask you to do a roll call. That was very good. Okay, thank you.
the next speaker is Peter Lago, to be followed by Sandy Patterson, and then Irene Davis and Terry.
One of the things I'd like to give you guys is about the 100 some odd signatures that I captured in about 3 hours today, just going from the Highway 25 cutoff, went to each business down there. Every business that was open today gladly signed this. Basically, it says we, the undersigned, agree that the rally would be good for our business and therefore petition the city policy to bring that rally. These are business owners. This is everybody from the managers of the hotels to the local AM, PM, and everything like that. So if you're wondering whether or not it's just we the people or whether it's actual business owners, it is in fact every single open business on San Benito Street wants this rally back. We all are suffering right now. We all realize that this would be good for us. And as Mike said, we're starting this rally up from a dead zero. So I don't think that we're going to see a large influx. We don't have to move parklets or anything like that. I think we're going to find plenty of parking. We're going to find a good space to open this up and extend it from here into something that's not only good for the community, but it allows us to keep our culture intact here in Hollister. These people are going to come in, they're going to drop off money, and then they're going to go home afterwards. You don't have to sell houses in order to have an industry. This can be part of your keystone business plan of having more tourism come in, and those tourists come and go, just like any other place that I've lived in, like Hawaii or Las Vegas. That's been the business model of those places. It can work for us. And San Benito County is a very beautiful county. There's plenty of great places to visit along here. We've got a great wine trail, and there's plenty of things for us to do here. There's also a large adventure bike community that'd be interested in joining this. So I think a lot of the naysayers that look at, some of the rougher elements and everything like that, I don't think that's something to worry about. As I was flown in here as a security specialist from 2002 until 2018 to run John's Bar and Grill, we put 63,000 people through that building. Unarmed, I never had a problem in my bar. So that's it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Sandy Patterson, to be followed by Irene Davis, Terry, and then Vanessa Salinas. And I'll also comment as Sandy Patterson is coming down, if they're here. If you need to submit a card and haven't yet, just bring it up with you and you can hand it to me on your way out. So is Sandy Patterson?
I don't see her.
Okay, the next speaker is Irene Davis, to be followed by Terry, Vanessa Salinas, and Ron Bevier.
Good evening. My name is Irene Davis. I'm the board president for Visit San Benito County. We're a destination marketing organization promoting tourism here. I'm a Hollister native, and I wanted to speak in favor of the biker rally. At the last town hall meeting, Dara Tobias from the fairgrounds spoke, offering to develop a plan to host some of the events at the fairgrounds. It is a state facility and a secure facility. It can be a ticketed event there. In 1937, the first gypsy tour was at Bellata Park. We don't want it to be an open event anymore. The event can be tiered pricing. We can study other events and see how they do it. I also thought the owner of Johnny's Bar had a lot of great ideas. Moving the event from the 4th to the following weekend to align with the Moto America Superbike show at Laguna Seca. And they also have the King of the Baggers event, whatever that is. It's July 11th through 13th. It's also great to target the adventure bikes with Hollister Hills here. There are many week-long biker events to look at and see what works for them. Today, I quickly looked at Daytona Bike Week, which is a 10-day event. Other states with big events are Arizona, New Hampshire, Texas, and of course Sturgis. The other events offer such things as bike shows, charity rides, flat track racing, hill climbs, scenic rides, poker runs, concerts, swap meets, burning bike to remember a loved one, concerts, vendors, etc. I can see the vendors out of Bellagio and many of the events. Downtown, I see the Main Street one-way section closed to bikes only. Bikes all parked along the main street. We loved that in the beginning years. They would frequent more of our local businesses without the other vendors downtown. We can also have events downtown. If we all work together, we can put on a great event and keep it safe and fun for all, and I'm willing to volunteer. Thank you, Ms. Davis.
The next public speaker is Terry, to be followed by Vanessa Salinas, Ron Bevia, and Matthew Gomez.
How you doing tonight? I want to start out by thanking Roland, because I think all the hard work he did to get this going, and everybody was against him for the past 2 or 3 years. And I think it pretty much spoke because there's 3 new members here. And it's basically going on across the country. People are getting sick and tired of people telling us what we're gonna do, what we're gonna have, and when we're gonna do it. So, I mean, going back to the past 5 years, this has been a tradition and a history in Hollister. Go back to 1947. Then you have the movie The Wild One with Marlon Brando. I mean, all our traditions in the United States now, everybody's squashing them. They're going away. And it's time people stand up and take them back. The city council, I just recommend that you do push this rally through. Okay, because if you don't, you guys might not be sitting there in a few years. Because people are tired of it. I'm just being honest. I'm just right up to that, but they're sick and freaking tired of it. Okay, we need to pass our traditions on to our children. I mean, everybody, oh, the bikers coming into town. Everybody gets frightened. Give me a damn break. It's time to have this rally back and get going on it. I'm constantly up and down the Central Coast. I'm running into people all the time asking me, hey, where do you live at? I'll live in Hollister. What the hell's wrong with your town? How come the rally's not back here? What's wrong with your city council? And I speak by mind, they got their head up their ass is what's going on. You know, and it's time to take it back. I just want to warn you guys, start doing the right thing. You guys are elected by the people. You work for us. Do what we want, not what you guys want. And again, thank you, Roland, for getting us back up here. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
The next public speaker is Vanessa Salinas, to be followed by Ron Bevier, Matthew Gomez, and Johnny Escamilla.
Dear Mayor and City Council members, my name is Vanessa. As a fellow rider myself and a passionate member of the motorcycle community, I'm here to express my support for hosting a biker rally in our city and to highlight the numerous benefits this event can bring to our community. Biker rallies have become a significant cultural and economic force across the country, and I believe they can offer our city the same positive impact, like an economic boost. As a personal business owner in our city, I believe a biker rally will attract visitors from outside the city who will contribute to the local economy. They will stay in our hotels, dine in our restaurants, and shop at local businesses, generating increased sales and tax revenue. Additionally, vendors and local artisans will have opportunities to showcase their goods, further stimulating the local economy. They have opportunity for tourism promotion. A well-organized rally can put our city on the map for motorcycle enthusiasts, creating a long-term tourism potential. As local riders, we regularly attend events in other cities, and these events are always safe and well managed. This rally could attract visitors from near and far, and once people come to the event, they may return throughout the year and recommend the city to others, turning a one-time rally into an ongoing tourism opportunity. During the community engagement, biker rallies often include charity events, parades, and community service activities, providing an opportunity for local residents to engage with participants and benefit from the rally's goodwill. These events will help build community ties and raise funds for important causes, further strengthening the city's social fabric. We can create a positive image. Biker rallies are often family friendly and promote responsible riding. They showcase a sense of brotherhood, freedom, adventure, and many of us share in our city. By hosting such events, we can highlight the diversity and inclusiveness of our community, showing that we are a city that welcomes people from all walks of life. Major rallies attract media coverage that extends far beyond the event itself. This provides excellent exposure. Sorry, thank you for your time.
The next speaker is Ron Bevier, to be followed by Matthew Gomez, Johnny Escamilla, and Bill Muffson.
Yes, I'm Ron Beavers. I'm with the Hollister Power Sports and also CMSP, which is the California Motorcycle Safety Program. We run these safety programs all over the state of California, and we will be here at the rally with booths, showing people what they can and can't do on motorcycles. And we'll also be doing demonstrations if you guys do vote to approve of that. Thanks.
Our next speaker is Matthew Gomez, to be followed by Johnny Escamilla, to be followed by Bill Muffson, to be followed by Nicholas Jackson Arvalo.
My name is Matt Rollins. I'm the country trust. We've been through so many good rallies. Like he said, we never had a problem down there at all once. I'm right next door to them, not once. So we actually did pretty good. Yeah, people probably don't have very much to do besides that. It benefits a lot. That's a lot. And yeah, we do probably that. That's it.
Our next speaker is Johnny Escamilla, to be followed by Bill Muffson, to be followed by Nicholas Jackson Arbayo, to be followed by Brian B.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in the council. I'm your elected mayor. Congratulations. I couldn't say it any better than these gentlemen already spoken up. Mr. Corbin and Peter brings plenty of revenue to our town. That's hands down right there. A lot of these practice people tend to look at us as though we're criminals of some sort, but we do a lot of fundraising. Look what the Bike Town has done here. Bringing presents to kids during Christmas time. When somebody's down and out, we rally up to make fundraisers for them. We help people out. There's people that need escorts. Who showed up? We're the first ones on the line. I got brothers right here to vouch for that. If somebody's in trouble and they call on one of us, guess who shows up? We all show up. Everybody rolls deep. Putting on a rally here in this town where the tradition was and where it should stay is going to keep more outsiders coming in for a large visit, 2 to 3 day weekend. It's going to bring a lot of revenue. Put our name back on the map where it once was, where it does belong. That's where we should be. Hollister Bike Rally where it all started. Please, council people, consider this and bring it back. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Bill Muffson, to be followed by Nicholas Jackson Arbayo, to be followed by Brian B. and then Annette Perez. Nicholas? Nicholas? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nicholas Jackson Arvalo. My family blood runs deep in this town. You know, I was born in Hopkins Hospital, went to San Diego High School as a proud hay baler. Joined the Marine Corps and carried the American flag in the Veterans Day Parade in this town one time. But one of the proudest things that I could say is when I go around the country to different rallies, you know, whether it be Daytona, Wasonia, Sturgis, I tell people that I'm from Hollister, California. And they say, oh, you hometown of the American biker. So not only is it heritage, history, it's the identity of this town being the home place of the American bikers. And I moved out to Arkansas a few years ago. And I go to Bike League Park every year. And since its inception in 2000, they've raised over $3 million for local charities. So I believe that whether you bring it back for just a rally or I believe that if it was to be partnered with some kind of local charity, that even people that don't support the rally, if there was some sort of common cause that people can get together, that they would support the cause that it's for, whether it be just for the bikers getting together for the heritage and history and whatnot. I'm getting a little flustered being in front of everybody, so I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Brian B., to be followed by Annette Perez and Peter Hernandez.
All right, how's it going? My name is Brian. Thank you guys for having us here tonight. The city, you know, it's the people. You guys help, you know, run everything for us, the people. The main thing I can see about the rally, Sturgis can create, you know, $700, $800 million for local businesses every rally they do. That's humongous. The city gets $1.5 to $2 million in taxes off that. The main thing about doing a rally and doing this consistency. Anything you do in life, consistency is key. If you have it one year, you don't have it the next, you don't have it the next, it's not gonna be a route. It's never gonna create the revenue stream. It's gonna end up costing. The reason it's costing is because it's keeps stopping. Everyone, it's here, it's there, it's all the years. What years they're doing it, what years they're not. So the rally is very important, especially if you were saying it's not gonna create a big dust this year, if it was to go on, but let it keep going on. Then it pays. It starts to pay the city, starts to pay the people, and that's what everybody loves here. Hollister is known for the rally. I bought my first house here in Hollister, and I bought my first Harley here. I love it. I've been coming to the rallies since I was a little kid. My dad's friend opened a motorcycle shop here just for the rallies, back in the day, Thunder Road Motorcycle Shop. It's a thing of the community. It's very important, I think, to everybody here. And it can create great revenue for the city, I believe, and the local businesses. It creates the biggest week of the year for Sturgis. All the people that go out there, Reno, they don't need the money, but they make over $100 million in small little businesses and street vibrations and things like that. So I think it's super important for the small town to get that money. Once a year, it's like a good payday for the business owners. Inflation and all the extra taxes and everything else that are paid, it's really nice to be able to make a little bit extra. That's a really important thing for the people here in Hollister. That's what I had to say. Thank you.
The next speaker is Annette Perez, to be followed by Peter Hernandez.
Hello, Mayor, welcome, and all the new council members. Didn't have anything prepared, but I just wanted to tell you that I would like to encourage you all to approve the 2025 Hollister Rally. I think it's one of our jewels for Hollister. As growing up, I used to hear about the rally, and I would drive and come here to come to the rally, and it really promotes Hollister and the businesses. We went to the restaurants, went to the bars, we hung out, we had a great time. I think it promotes tourism. I think part of the hardest time was figuring out where we were gonna stay. So now you've got these new hotels, you've got places for people to stay, and you have new camping areas that have been approved by the county. So now we have more places for other people to attend. I think it's really important. I think if you do it right, it can bring this city tons and tons of money just in your sales tax dollars. Get the contract right, do it so it really helps our city with the revenue. And I just think it would be a great thing for Hollister. We need to bring it back. We need to get us on the map again. And it would bring so much revenue if we all do it right. So please approve the 2025 rally. Thank you.
Our last speaker is Peter Hernandez.
Mayor, City Council, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for bringing back this item. I'm really proud that you guys are willing to lead with courage and not with fear. I served as a former county supervisor. I'm actually a current small business owner. And I actually appreciate what Brian had mentioned earlier, that business is a developmental phase. It takes time. Right? And an economy doesn't just, it's not a light switch. You can't shut it on and shut it off. San Diego County or the city of Hollister is 14 miles in off the beaten path, right? We have 101. And if you take a little bit of a high level view, the issues in San Diego County, specifically budget wise, is you have basically a loss of local control. So you have little control of your revenue streams. Measure A is proof that basically the community doesn't want more houses, but they do want revenue, obviously, because we want our infrastructure. That is the main barrier, the firewall that the community put on this county, on the leadership, that we want to see other forms of revenue. We want to see a tourism revenue. I served on the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, and that was a priority because I knew that we had to get very creative. The fact that we don't have big commerce, big industries out here, we obviously have to get creative. That means you have to have a vision. That means you have to know what you want and go after it, and you have to build year after year to get to the place where you want to be. Obviously, risk mitigation, which I know is part of the conversation, is really important. I think you guys should lead with that. You should lead that you are going to be a safe community. You are going to lead this rally in a way that this community is going to benefit, the economy is going to be strengthened, and at the same time, this community is going to feel safe. And I encourage you to lead with courage. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, we do have one online, Joseph Howard.
Hello, I'd like to to state my support for the motorcycle rally as a source of potential income for our city, and also as a way to bolster our identity as Hollister and as San Benito County. It's there aren't many other opportunities like this, especially given that we have a historical precedent for this. And I know people are chomping at the bits to come down here and throw their money at us. I worked at a hospitality business for hospitality not far from Hollister, and motorcyclists came in during the both summers that I was there, and they were asking about the rally and well, hopefully next year, and that didn't seem to be the case. But folks were like asking about the rally because they wanted to come down here and have their rally, have their fun, spend their money. Like they were trying to throw their money at us. They wanted to get down here so badly, but there was no rally. And as with if we lose the rally to just like if we kind of forget about it and to like lose that vision of what our identity is, we'll just become like Gilroy or Morgan Hill, which places that did have their own unique character that kind of just seem to be blending in with the mix now. And I don't want we don't want to become that faceless mix. We want to be our own thing. So this is a great way to make money and preserve our identity and our traditions for generations. But we need to get back to it as soon as possible so that people don't forget about it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Celeste Bocanegra.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I appreciate everyone who spoke before me, and I agree with everybody, and I do believe that we should have the rally because of the revenue aspect of the rally and the history and how it's part of our culture. But I do want to be mindful of the liability and maybe consider a curfew, um, just because of the liability, and that's it. But I don't want to rain on this event. This is definitely something I want my kids to be a part of and my family, and bringing it back would just be truly amazing. But understanding the liability and the consequences that may take because of other people coming into our community, and we want to be safe as well. So thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Mayor Stevens, those are all of the public comments for this item.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. A lot of great ideas, a lot of great comments, and I appreciate all of your interest here. I'm gonna look over to my fellow council members to see if there's any comments or questions. Councilman,
Thank you, Mayor Stevens, and thank all of you who came out here tonight. Thank you to Mr. Burke, the promoter who worked in the past, and thank you to all the business owners, the bikers. Thank you for showing up proud and showing up loud to tonight's meeting, and to all the community members here tonight. I just want to remind you guys, not one person spoke out against having the biker rally tonight, not one person. I went to a restaurant the other night and I ran into some people here. They're standing here in the back of the room. Thank you for coming out here tonight. And they told me they moved here because of the Hollister biker rally. And I can tell you what I told them. Hollister, California is the home of the American biker. It has been, it always will be, and it should continue to be. Politics is politics, and that's sad and unfortunate that politics gets in the way. But because of that, we now have a new mayor and a new council that I believe firmly supports the Hollister biker rally and bringing it back this year. You guys can applaud for that. Tonight, we're voting to bring back the biker rally. That's what we're voting for. What I'm going to ask for you to add to that, please, is I hear that we're not going to have our fireworks show. Amazon wants to do business in here. Ask them to sponsor our fireworks show. After that, they can pay for the entire biker rally and the fireworks show. We were very fortunate. Ignacio Velasquez, the former mayor, and I were fortunate enough to get this on the ballot. However, it was an advisory measure. It was an advisory ballot. It was not legal standing. I'm going to propose to this council to have it on the 2026 ballot, regular election, as a legally binding measure that secures the biker rally to be held on the 4th of July. From that day forward, the people have spoken, and we need to make sure that we listen to their voice and we have it in writing and backed by our legislation. And a bit of advice for our staff. I have full confidence in the city manager to execute this biker rally with success. And if we listen to Mr. Corbin and we do it in a cooperative way, then I think that in partnership with the community, we will have a successful biker rally here year after year after year. And all of those good things that these people spoke with will come to fruition over time. Thank you again for coming out tonight, and let's have a biker rally this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hernandez. Any other comments or questions from other council members?
I have some comments, so, I grew up here. I have enjoyed this biker rally for so many years. And I walked up and down these streets asking local businesses what they thought, and the vast majority. You guys can't hear me? Oh, I was yelling. The vast majority of them were like, yes, let's have it. Local businesses have been struggling, right? Some of them still have COVID debt. The weight of Amazon has been really tough for local businesses, right? Like, how are they're struggling just because Amazon is such a powerful force. Walmart, let's not forget about Walmart. They are still a very powerful force as well. And there's also inflation. We've seen local businesses shutter recently. Metropolis still isn't back. Churros is still not, open back up, and they've shuttered. High Outlet just recently. I can't buy enough sweats to keep them in business. This rally definitely is in the fabric of our town. I've gone to local businesses, and Johnny's got a whole board of the history of this event. And I really am hopeful that it can be a safe thing, and I'm very optimistic that it can. And I really can see this being a very powerful thing for our local businesses and bringing some tax revenue to the city as well. And, highlighting some of the things that we've got that, harken to biking. Hollister Hills is all about cycling. We've got a wine trail that we can have some rides to and be safe about. The Pinnacles is an event. You can just ride out to the Pinnacles and have a beautiful scenic ride. It's gonna be a very powerful, very positive.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for being here. This is awesome. So, I just want to say just briefly that I grew up here and I grew up going to the rally as well as my family. And some of my best childhood memories are at the rally with my family. Then of course, as I got older with friends and cousins and whatnot. And I grew up over by Sacred Heart Church. So I mean, I felt the rumble, I heard it through most of my life. And I say it's energy, it's group cohesion, it's unity, it's community. That's what it is. And to have this, we need this more than ever, rather than going to fear-based rhetoric, whatever. I understand anything can happen anytime, anywhere. We know this. But also, we're gonna acknowledge the dark. We need to stay in the light. We need to uphold that light. And while we do that, we gotta make sure that we just encourage everybody else to be on the best behavior. Let's have some fun. Let's, also respectfully and just enjoy it. Well, I think I will end with comments before we move to motions. So yeah, I'm really excited to be able to have this conversation here today, and I do want to like really pose it in that way. I appreciate what Councilmember Deanna just said in terms of that this is all event. The fear is not the way to move forward. However, we do have to be respectful and responsible. It has to be shared responsibility. There is obviously concerns about risk and safety. That will always be our number one concern. And I personally have a lot of faith in the residents of Hollister and our ability to keep ourselves in check. And I'm gonna ask that we partner as we move forward in this, if we are able to make this happen. This is going to be, this will be a difficult undertaking, as I think it was Mr. Corbin who might have said this, that we haven't had this in a while. We've lost momentum. We have to rebuild that. So we're gonna have to temper expectations as well. But I think that starting with baby steps and then moving forward with that, I think is a great way to start. We gotta do this all together. That means sharing in the responsibility as well as sharing in the fun. I think there's lots of opportunity. I love what Ms. Davis talked about, your partnering with Visit San Benito County, because there's a lot of other things to do in San Benito County. We can highlight that with this event. We can also support our local businesses. And again, going back to the idea of keeping it safe and secure and keeping each other in check. But I fully support bringing back the rally. I want to reiterate again that we have to temper our expectation that this year will likely not look like other years because we're kind of starting from ground zero. However, we have to start somewhere, and I would love to start it this year, this first year. In the next 6 months, we have a lot of time to do a lot of discussions. We have some contracts to work out, so it's still not, it would not still be set in stone. However, I think this is a good first step towards that. So I'm going to stop talking with that, but I do appreciate all you being here, and I love the enthusiasm, and I fully support bringing back the rally as well. I'd like to make a motion.
Mayor Stevens.
Oh.
First, thank you to the new mayor and the new council for bringing back the biker rally and making this your first item on the agenda. Thank you. And next, I would proudly ask the council to adopt the resolution and add 2 things to it, if we may. Number 1, give direction to staff to ask Amazon to partner with us for this year to pay for our fireworks show. Number 2, put a ballot measure securing the 4th of July biker rally in the city of Hollister on 4th of July in the 2026 upcoming election.
So,
That is legally binding.
okay, is that your motion?
That is my motion.
Okay, so we have a clear record. I want to make sure. There is no resolution. The motion would be to approve and authorize the 2025 Hollister Independence Rally, authorize the city manager to negotiate a contract with Road Shows Inc. and return to the city council for approval, direct that staff request of Amazon to sponsor the fireworks show, and then also direct that a ballot measure be placed on the 2026 general election cycle in November of 2026 regarding making the biker rally a permanent fixture
On the 4th of July.
on the 4th of July.
Yes.
That's the motion. I just wanted to be clear before someone seconds. That's the motion.
Okay, so can I make comments before we move to second? So this is my concern about voting on a motion, as stated, is that there's too many items, and we may be in agreement with 1 or 2 and not all 3. So what I would rather have is separate ones, or to table the 2 other items to another meeting time, so we have time to discuss that. Just, I think it's cleaner and it's more specific. So that's what would be just my question, my ask.
So under Rosenberg's Rules of Order, you can do a substitute motion, and the substitute motion would be either to approve one. You can say to approve the twenty twenty-five Hollister Independence Rally and authorize the city manager to negotiate a contract with Directors Inc. And return to the city council for approval of that contract. And if that motion fails, then we go backwards to Councilmember Resendez's motion. So you can make that substitute motion, you would just need a second.
Thank you.
Councilor Resendez.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens. So then, at that point, I'm wondering if it's better for me just to withdraw my motion.
You can,
And then she can make that motion to approve as presented by staff. And then we can make another motion for the other two requests that I'm asking.
that can be done as
I
well.
think that's cleaner because if we do it the way you said, then we can't revisit the ones that I'm saying.
Right, yeah, I mean, I would assume your motion would fail, but you have the ability to withdraw.
And
your
if that's
motion.
the case, and that's okay with the mayor, I'll withdraw my motion with the friendly amendments.
That's perfect, let's do that. Okay, so right now you have a motion on the floor to approve and authorize the twenty twenty-five Hollister Independence Rally, and authorize the city manager to negotiate a contract with Directors Inc. and return to the city council for approval of that contract. That's the pending motion, so you can just second there. You have a second.
I second.
You need to do a vote. Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Sam.
Any opposed? Okay, just making sure.
And then can we revisit my motions?
You can make another motion, yes.
Mayor Stevens, I move that we ask Amazon to sponsor the fireworks show for this coming year and direct staff to bring out a ballot measure ensuring that the Fourth of July bike rally will be held in Hollister, California, and it's legally binding.
So you have a motion, can we need a second? Does somebody want to give a second? A second. Okay, so can I just ask a procedural question and check this for the purpose of the manager. So do we have discussion now or was that done already? For that? Under Rosenberg's rules of order, that's done. For that particular. Because, exactly, because, the ballot measure item, that will come back to be approved by council. There are certain documents and certain timelines that have to be met. So you will get the ballot language that you can consider for approval. It's just to bring that back. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I want to, abstain because I guess I had a question about the ballot measure. I'm fine with the Amazon sponsoring the fireworks, but on the ballot measure, is there a real question on whether the city can legally bind future council members ongoing?
So we would look at that as part of bringing back the ballot measure.
Okay. I guess I can.
So do you want to vote?
Yes.
Okay, so so are you, a yea or nay? I choose to the yes. Okay, so it's unanimous. Okay, so I think we're done with all of that. Okay, so thank you. It looks like we're gonna move forward with the planning of the biker rally. Thank you all again. More worried about
Fun's got over close. Fun's.
No, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Okay, I think we're gonna get ready to get started again. So we're gonna, regroup and get started again. Let me see where we left off. We're gonna go into council reports. Do we have any council reports?
I've got one.
Council.
For everybody who's left. Is it okay? The holidays just passed and, you know, some friends of mine have, reached out to me and, let me know about the Nikki and Marley Holte holiday dinner. I had no idea. I just get together with the family, we get together and we do the Mexican American thing. We have enchiladas and tamales and we have turkey, and we have mashed potatoes. They've been serving people since 1985, well over 20 years, and at this event, they serve over 460 meals in-house and then another roughly 100 out of just delivered. So I have to say that if anybody is still watching, I know everybody just about cleared out of this place, but it's a fantastic event and they have been doing such a great job. If anybody wants to volunteer, it felt so good to help out and just get people plated and some food and it gets me choked up just thinking about it. So the Marley Holte holiday dinner. Smashing success.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, we love when our community steps up. This community also generally does. I appreciate that. Any other council members have reports? No? Okay, there's no reports. So we have city council request for future items.
Mayor Stevens, you did also have on there to report out that you were, the appointments to the fire services negotiation. I believe it's on there.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I have appointed myself and council member Resendez to the fire services contract negotiations ad hoc committee, and thank you for the reminder on that one. So we'll be moving forward with that ad hoc committee. Good, where is it? Okay, thank you. And now we are going to move on to city council requests for future agenda items. So staff received 2 requests for future items. Rescinding the city council resolution 24-170 submitted by council member Resendez and comprehensive mid-year budget presentation submitted by, I believe, Mayor Stevens. Do we have any like brief discussion or anything else? Yeah, there's no discussion. This is just simply your thumbs up process to bring it back for the future. Okay, so thumbs up if you guys are good with those items. Should add them to our future item agenda, future agendas. Okay, can I just see thumbs up? Yeah, it would be to rescind that resolution, the fire resolution. Okay, so you got 4 thumbs up for the item 1, and then 5 thumbs up for item 2. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if there's no further business, we're gonna go into closed session again before we close the meeting out officially. So we have the other items on closed sessions that we're gonna smooth out. Well, and Mayor Stevens, we're gonna do the rest of closed session out here. The only reason we went back in that room was because we had 100 people here and we didn't feel it was appropriate to make that step out. Thank you for that clarification. All right, well, thank you all for your attendance and your participation.